Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today for your interest in CARE's 2026 Teachers Study Tour. My name is Phyllis Kim, and I am the Executive Director of Comfort Women Action for Redress and Education, or CARE. I appreciate you being here today, whether you've already submitted an application, some of you already did, and are still deciding whether this program is a right fit for you. Before we begin, I want to be clear about the purpose of today's session. This is not a sales pitch. The session is meant to help you decide whether this program is a good fit for you and your teaching. The study tour is a selective, responsibility-based program, and my hope is that today's conversation will help you understand what the tour involves, what we expect of participants, and whether you feel prepared to make a strong case for why this opportunity fits your teaching and your students. CARE offers this study tour because we believe deeply in the role of teachers. The teachers play in sustaining historical truth in classrooms. At the same time, participation comes with real commitments before, during, and after the trip. This is not a passive experience, and it is not simply a funded travel opportunity. It is an educational program with clear expectations and follow through. Over the next hour, I will walk you through the structure of the study tour, the application process, and what we look for when we review applications. So we'll also leave time at the end for your questions. And just to make sure, this session is being recorded and will be shared on the application page afterward. And before we move on, I have a request. Please use the chat box to tell us what grade level you teach and one word that describes why you're interested in this study tour. So with that, let me begin by briefly introducing CARE CWJC and why we created this teachers study tour. CARE is a community-based nonprofit organization based in the Los Angeles area. We began our work in 2007 with the campaign to pass United States House of Representatives Comfort Women Resolution, which is the House Resolution 121. Following that effort, which passed, CARE worked with the city of Glendale in California to establish the Comfort Women Memorial Statue in Glendale, California, which is the photo behind me. The Comfort Women Justice Coalition, CWJC, is another community-based nonprofit organization based in San Francisco, California, formed in 2015. CWJC led the effort to establish the Comfort Women Memorial in St. Mary's Square in downtown San Francisco. In 2016, CARE and CWJC jointly led a successful campaign to include the Comfort Women issue in California's 10th grade history social science framework. Since then, CARE and CWJC have supported students, educators, and scholars through education programs, archives, public programming, and curriculum development. What we've learned again and again is that teachers are the most critical link in keeping this history alive beyond a single event, generation, or political moment. So the Teachers Study Tour grew directly out of that understanding. So this program was created not as a general study abroad experience, but as targeted professional development for educators who are already teaching or who are prepared to teach difficult history, especially the history of the Comfort Women, with care and follow through. The goal is to provide teachers with historical grounding, first-hand context, and an international perspective so they can return to their classrooms better equipped to teach this history thoughtfully and responsibly. Last year, we launched our first study tour with 3 teachers from California, with invaluable support from Professor Jing Williams of the University of South Dakota, a professor of social studies education, who is here with us today. Jing, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So it's like Phyllis said, I'm a professor of social studies education at the University of South Dakota, and I have been doing teaching and research related to comfort women issue, and more broadly, is a difficult history, how to teach about difficult history. And as far as I can tell you, that Phyllis has been doing amazing groundwork out there, and it's been a just an honor, basically. It is truly an honor to have a chance to work with her, studying while we've been working on multiple projects over the years. And last year, that was the first time we did the study tour. It was just really, the teacher said is once in a lifetime kind of experience. It was impactful. So yeah, I'm not the center of the tonight. So back to you, Phyllis.
Um, just wanted to share that Jean and I recently co-authored a book on teaching conflict-related sexual violence through human rights education using the case of the comfort women. So Jean continues to research this topic from an educator's perspective. Um, so now let me walk you through the 2026 study tour. This year, we plan to select 6 participants. We double the numbers. And the program runs for 4 days from Wednesday, May 27th through Saturday, May 30, 2026, with the teachers' conference taking place on Saturday. Participants are required to arrive by Tuesday, the day before, May 26th, so you can rest and be ready to begin the program next morning. We will attend Wednesday demonstration. Let me show you some photos from last year. So we will attend Wednesday demonstration, a weekly protest that in 1990, began in 1992 and has continued without interruption. You will also observe the counter protesters led by a small but very vocal group of history deniers connected to far right revisionist movements in Japan. The program includes visits to the Comfort Women museums and historical sites, including the House of Sharing. This is the House of Sharing, a former residential complex for survivors with an attached museum. We will also visit a U.S. military camp town area outside of Seoul to examine how Japanese military sexual slavery evolved into post-war exploitation of women within a military context. On Saturday, we will participate in a social studies teachers symposium with South Korean educators focused on teaching women's history and the comfort women issue in both US and Korean classrooms. 2 participants from our cohort will be invited to present. So if you're willing to present, please indicate this in your application. We would greatly appreciate it. I want to emphasize that this is an educational and emotionally heavy program. This is not a sightseeing trip, although we do encourage you to explore South Korea on your own during your stay in South Korea. This is not passive learning. Participants are expected to come with some familiarity with the topic and a serious commitment to teaching this history. The topic requires emotional readiness, a willingness to teach difficult history responsibly, and follow through. Once participants are selected, we will share a list of readings and films to review before arriving in Seoul. After the tour, participants are required to submit a lesson plan by July 12, 2026. We provide one round of feedback and revision to help you create a classroom-ready lesson plan. Final lesson plans will be shared publicly for educational purposes. Participation in the scholarship showcase is encouraged but not required. So you will be able to see the past participants from last year in the 2025 scholarship showcase, which has the link in the information page of the 2026 study tour. So please take a look at it to hear and see what other teachers had to say about the study tour. So in short, we are looking for teachers who will actively teach this history and bring it back into their classrooms. Now, let me briefly go over funding and logistics. Participants will receive a $1,500 stipend, which may be used at your discretion. Of this amount, $1,200 will be paid at the end of the program, given that you have participated in the program fully in 4 days. After the farewell dinner on Saturday, May 30th, after the conference. The remaining $300 will be paid after your lesson plan is submitted. So, and in addition to this $1,500 stipend, CARE will cover 5 nights of hotel accommodation in Central Seoul area, which will be very convenient to all the places we visit. The hotel will be provided from Tuesday through Sunday. And the meals during the program will be provided, and ground transportation, English and Korean interpretation is also included. We may use public transportation, which involves walking and climbing upstairs. Which is not covered by this program, includes the flights from your home to Seoul, and the travel insurance or any kind of medical insurance or any medical needs that you may require, any personal expenses, any travel outside the program schedule. Participants may bring family members or companion to South Korea, but they should be on their own expense. And no family members, this is very important. No family member, no kids, no spouse, no friend may attend any part of the program activities. This is exclusively for the teachers only. And the full participation is required for stipend eligibility. Now, let's talk about the application process. Most application details are outlined on the study tour information page, so please do read it carefully. The application deadline is February 1, 2026, so you have about 2.5 weeks. Required materials include your resume, sample lesson plan, statement of purpose, and my contribution to the group statement, which will be all incorporated in the application. You need to separately send to us employment verification letter. And we plan to finalize participants by the end of February. So selected teachers can purchase flights and make travel plans early. When reviewing applications, we look for a clear and thoughtful lesson plan, seriousness of purpose, willingness to engage and collaborate, ability to translate learning into classroom practice. With that, I will stop here and open it up for your questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll discuss them. Let me see. Any questions? Yes, Kevin.
Hi, good evening or good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. I had a quick question, fellas. In this opportunity, and it's not like a big deal or not, is there any opportunity to meet a survivor if one is still willing to, I know they're older, so able to and willing to meet with us or no?
That is a very good question. Last year, we had an opportunity to meet with one of the six survivors in Korea, Grandma Yongsu Lee. And let me show you the picture from. So we went to Daegu, which is about 2 hours of a bullet train ride from Seoul to participate in a conference there, which coincided with our study tour program, and met with Grandma Yongsu Lee, who lives in that area. So it was a great opportunity for the teachers to meet with her, and I will try to make this happen again, but with her advanced age, she's 97. So I cannot promise that, but well, we will try. Any other questions?
Phyllis, there's a question in the chat box.
Okay,
It's
teaching
about the
symposium.
teaching symposium. Yeah,
Okay.
this information is on the website. It is on the website, correct?
Mhm.
Is there a theme for this year's symposium?
So we're still in discussion with the host organization in Korea about the specifics. So um, we have not actually decided the theme or the title of the symposium yet. But this will be about teaching difficult history broadly, including focusing on teaching women's history or comfort women. So out of the two presenters from our cohort, we expect one of the teachers will talk about teaching comfort women issue in the classrooms, and another teacher may talk about other topic, including like teaching women's history in classrooms, which involves teaching difficult history. Um, so we will update you as we, finalize the details and the plans for the study tour and the symposium. Yes.
Where will this primarily be based? That is to say, on a day-to-day basis, will we be meeting in one location or will we be moving day to day, or how does that piece of it work?
So we will be moving around. So let me show you the uh, map of Seoul. Let me see, where is that? Okay. Oh, this is not. Okay. So actually we will be staying in Central Seoul around this area. So if you look out, this is Seoul. And this is Incheon Airport where you will be arriving. And you take the train or airport bus, travel into Seoul. And this is Central Seoul. And we will be staying around this area, which is very central to all the places. This is Gyeongbokgung, the famous palace from Joseon Dynasty. And we will look at these lines, orange, purple, green, blue. All this is subway lines, and it's very convenient. So we will be utilizing the subways. But House of Sharing is about an hour and a half away outside of Seoul. So we will either rent a van or private bus to go there. And to go to Dongducheon, which is the camp town, it will be here. Dongducheon. This is Dongducheon. So we will take this, probably we will take the line 1 to get there, the subway, or we might use the van, depending on how many people we have. So we will be moving around. Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, I was wondering if when we're out there, we'll have a chance to connect with other high school teachers who teach this difficult topic and some of their promising and best practices and strategies for talking about this.
So the symposium will be the perfect opportunity for you to meet with Korean high school teachers or middle school teachers who are interested in this topic, the social studies teachers who may be teaching this history or may be experiencing other difficulties in teaching tough, themes in the classrooms. But one thing I want to let you know that is that because the symposium is scheduled to happen on the last day on Saturday, if you would like to make a connection and may want to have further discussions with the teachers, you may want to plan your trip to stay beyond Saturday and Sunday, so that you can schedule a meeting or discussions outside of the program with the teachers that you meet at the symposium. And you are free to do that. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
This is just a logistical question about the application. If our employment verification letter is coming from the same individual who is writing our letter of recommendation, should they also email that, or should we include the letter of recommendation within our actual application?
First of all, we do not require a letter of recommendation. So just to have that person send us an official letter in the letterhead of the school or district that to verify that you are indeed an employee of that school and district. Yes, Mr. Lee, Brian? You are muted.
I have conducted this in my class one or twice already. One of the difficulties that I faced was some of my students, I don't know where they heard this, but as some women who were involved, it was that tragic history were volunteered. I heard that one. And also, Imperial Japanese military regime did not leave any evidence. Therefore, some of my students raised the concerns. The wartime, anything can happen. So, as a teacher, I would like to know the other side of the story. I would like to hear what they are insisting. Otherwise, I can conduct lesson plan. I need a solid evidence to insist this kind of inhumane things never be happened again. But tell the truth, I don't have that evidence. If I'm elected and if I go to South Korea, will I have an opportunity to meet those people who said otherwise? Or just meeting the people who advocate this theory? And that's my question.
There could be a long explanation, but to make a long story short, just to think about how human trafficking happened. Let's say a high school girl or a minor or even an adult are lured into human trafficking or sex trafficking by promise of a lucrative job, Chanel bag, or a nice boyfriend, and she finds herself in this system where she cannot escape from. She may be paid, and do we tell this situation that this was voluntary employment, or do we say that it was a crime of human trafficking? So, you know, the system actually grew out of the public prostitution system installed in Japan pre-war. And at first, the women came from that prostitution system. And as soon as Japan occupied Korea, that same public prostitution system, which was controlled by the government, was implanted in Korean soil as well. So many women who were, of course, from poverty, they were, they got involved, and some women came from that system. And so some women actually knew what was waiting for them when they joined, but vast majority of them actually were lured by false promises and sometimes abductions, and that happened a lot in occupied territories like China and Southeast Asian countries. So I think what's the most important factor here is that the fact that the condition of these women were placed. Was it where she can say no on her free will, or is there where was she able to leave? Was she able to quit? Was she able to stop working if she was sick? If she wanted to go back home, was she able to do that? Or was she forced to serve soldiers no matter what? And that is what we need to look into. And we will talk about this more in depth. But I just want to share with you in relation to the evidence that you are talking about. There are plenty of evidence. I shared the link in the chat box, so please check this page out. We have worked with the Center for Korean Studies at UCLA to create this resource archive online. And please read these introductions, but look at this map. This map was created by Women's Active Museum in Tokyo, Japan, which is an organization that has been working on the comfort women issue to demand responsibility from their own government. They have uncovered many military documents and testimonies and other documents to create this map to show the locations of the comfort stations. With varying degrees, Japanese military at the time were heavily involved in the creation and management of these comfort stations. And if you go to this page, Japanese military documents, you will see the list of documents that show how Japanese military was involved in the establishment and conscription, recruitment, transportation, management of the comfort women. Also, if you go to US and Allied document section, you will see many documents created during the World War II and close to the end of the World War II. They show and the mentions comfort women's system and some of the photos and video. So this will be more than enough evidence for say, I think. And of course, there are many scholarly discussions and books and materials that are available. So yes, there are evidence. Yes.
Well, thank you, Miss Kim. You already gave me good information.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Is there any other questions? Have any of you been to Korea before? Okay. Who has never been to Korea? Noel, Sarah, Joy, okay. How about Lane and Gordon? Have you been to Korea before?
I have been to Korea. Yeah.
You have been, yes. Okay, great. How about Gordon? Okay. So, is there any other questions? Okay, so you probably have my email, comfortwomanaction@gmail.com. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me anytime between now and February 1st. And we will go over the application very carefully and get back to you with the result. All right. Okay, so thank you again for being here today and your thoughtful questions and engagement. So before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one important point. Applying to this study tour should feel like a considered decision, okay, not an obligation. So this is a meaningful, at times challenging. We're not going to lie. It's going to be very heavy and you may feel stressful. So it's a challenging program, but it's important that it feels like the right fit for you, your teaching, and your students. So if you decide to apply, please take the time to read the information sheet and frequently asked questions carefully and to reflect on how this experience connects to your classroom practice. Strong applications are thoughtful and honest. They don't need to be perfect, but they do need to be intentional. So for those of you who weren't able to attend live, today's session was recorded and will be shared on the application page. And if questions come up after this session, you are always welcome to reach out to us by email. Thank you again for your interest in CARE and CWJC's work and for the important work you already do as educators. We're grateful for your time and we look forward to reading your applications. Have a great evening. Please take a good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.